Well, thank you again for the great invitation, and I'll be talking a little bit about this instrument tracking system. So one of the things that's really good about this system is that you can track almost any instrument, a jamshidi, a cob, anything that you want. So we have these snaps here that can basically fit on any instrument. Even bad surgeons like me can figure it out. You put it like this, then you show it to your camera. Calibration takes about 10 seconds. You show one side to the camera, show the other side to the camera, and you're ready to go. You can see here that...
Muhammed, so any instrument can be used. So when you register, it knows the length based on where the tracking frame has been attached. So that's how it knows the length of the instrument?
Exactly.
Okay.
So you can.
So it's agnostic to everything.
It's agnostic to everything. Now, one thing that we'll talk about in a second is that if you wanted to learn what your actual instrument is, you actually have to take an X-ray so that it can know about it. So let's talk a little bit about the GUI here. It's very straightforward. If you can come here. I don't know if you can see my finger here, but you can see in the bottom, there's a bullseye. That's the field of view. So that's exactly where you're going to take your X-rays. So how many times you take an X-ray, you have an instrument in, and you think that, hey, this is going to be covered by the field of view, and it's not, right? This actually stops you from doing that. And then you can have two views, an AP or a lateral. I showed on the SI Fusion, you can have an outlet and inlet view, any two views, and it can show you where you are and where you're going to be. So here is a calibrated jamshidi that we have here. So you can see on the bullseye here, I'm in the middle of the screen here. So if I take this, you can see before I take a shot, it's agnostic. So it just knows there's a tip. It doesn't really know what that tip looks like. Once I take an X-ray here, so Chad, let's take an X-ray. Why don't we take an X-ray right here? There we go. So now it's learned my tip. And now as I'm moving, it's actually seeing where I am. Now, as I told in the talk, each one of those blue dots is 10 millimeters. So it can tell me where I am going to be and where I'm going to be. So that's really good. Now, how many times after you take a lateral X-ray, when you spin up to AP, you have to change the Ferguson and the cant. We've made up a system here where you actually can develop that perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my marker in parallel to the L5 pedicle there. You can see on the GUI that my blue line and my white line are not parallel. So what I'm going to ask Chad to do is change the cant underneath the table. And this, again, is going to save us so many X-rays. Now those two lines are parallel. So now let's go AP. So it fixes, and so if you're doing multiple levels, you can actually do that before you do anything. Now, another thing that happens is that you think that when you take your X-ray, you're in the midline, but you don't, right? So what I'm going to do is actually going to put my jamshidi in the midline. I'm going to ask Chad to center on there, and then before you take an X-ray, Chad, and you can see on the AP, it already is in what we call pencil mode. So now I'm going to move off a little bit of where I'm going to be. So I'm going to put it, let's put it right there. Okay, Chad, take an X-ray here. There you go. So that's a pretty perfect AP X-ray if we're going to put in pedicle screws at L5. You can see the L5 pedicle very, very nicely. And we've taken two X-rays. We don't have to do a lot of changing of the cant or the Ferguson. We're ready to go. So now if we were going to make an incision, again, if you're doing this percutaneous, you can actually plan out your incision without taking any X-rays. So again, we said each of those marks is about one centimeter or 10 millimeters. So I would make, okay, this would be my incision for 5. This would be my incision for 4. And again, no extra X-rays, okay? And so that's really, really powerful. I think Chad is trying to outline something here, is that once I have these two X-rays and I'm tracking in both dimensions, he can move outside of the operating room if he had to, right? But we're not going to do that. Let's stay in AP. So I agree with the comments of my tactile feedback. So I always teach my residents that, learn how to do the Wilson incision, learn how to find that point between the transverse process and the facet joint, right? So that when you put your instrument in here, it's not going to be all the way off. It's going to be in the general vicinity, right? And that will then let us know whether you're using a robot or anything else, are you doing something that seems reasonable or not? So here I am, I'm in a pretty reasonable spot here. Now I'm going to just make it a little bit better here. So I'm going to dock right here. Look, I'm a little bit more lateral. And again, I can plan out exactly what it's going to be. So you can see those 2 dots on the AP will get me to the medial border. And right here, if you look on the lateral, it's a little bit, I'm a little bit on the facet joint. So I'm going to, again, make my just small adjustments so I can have a perfect screw. And again, if I find myself not in a good spot, right, I can make those changes without having to take more x-rays. Again, I might be even struggling here, maybe a little bit nervous or something. That's okay. Again, I'm not taking any more x-rays than I need to. So
there's no reason to be nervous, man. You're my friends.
So there you go.
Okay,
so you
Muhammed.
can see here on the AP and lateral, I have a pretty perfect trajectory for my pedicle screw. And if you've been counting, we've taken exactly 2 x-rays. Is that a correct count? I think so. So now as I'm hammering this in, I can watch it go in on the AP. And once I get to about the medial border, I've done this for a while, so I might feel confident, but it always is okay to ask your person to take an x-ray. Now, before he takes an x-ray, you can see here, he's going to move it so that it's in the middle of the screen. So when he takes an x-ray, it's going to be a perfect x-ray. Again, how many times you take x-rays and you're not looking at, we already, I don't want to say anything bad, but we already saw that sometimes in the morning, we took x-rays and we weren't in a good spot. This avoids all of that because I can tell to my x-ray tech, make sure this is centered before you take another x-ray. So let's take an x-ray here. Boom. So it showed that our tracking was on, right? We're right at the medial border, right? And I feel very confident. Now, once you get good in that, you might avoid that. But I would encourage everybody to take this x-ray just as confirmation that, everything is good. So now we've taken 3 x-rays, and let's go now into a lateral. Well, it shows us on the lateral right now, using that ghost image, that we should be into the vertebral body. But we'll just make sure here as well.
Hey, Muhammad, since we're waiting for the x-ray here to get in place, do you think that this type of technology could also be married to more complex technology, robotics and navigation, to kind of get that, partially replace the skin, the fixation into the pelvis? So in other words, a robotic plus this technology could maybe speed up robotics, or do you think that's feasible?
I think that if you have some type of hybrid, it might actually be very helpful. As you pointed out, I use these cases for my 1, 2, and 3 level cases. Again, I work at Duke. I get some people, with 100-degree curves, have had, 7 spine surgeries, have Harrington rods, and I'm trying to extend downwards and so on. And this is only as good as your fluoroscopy will be. And so if there's a huge fusion mass and so on, you're not going to get great x-rays. So those are the cases I do with robotics and navigation. Does that kind of answer the question?
Yes. Can you show the lateral x-ray now?
Let's take a lateral x-ray. Okay, there you go. So that's confirmation, and that took 2 x-rays, maybe 4 x-rays in total, the 2 confirmatory ones. So I think that really shows, just how feasible this is. This was just something that you put on a C-arm. You don't have to do anything else. There's no setup time. There's no spin that happens before surgery. Now, I kind of showed off about this. Here is another device here that I can be tracking. We set this up before we came into the lab. You can see here, I could be tracking both the blue and the yellow at the same time. And so that's how I can cut down the time even more. So if I have a resident, I have a fellow, I can have the resident on one side, the fellow on the other side, and they can be working simultaneously. Unlike other navigation systems, which are centric to the instrument that you're using. This is fluoroscopy centric, so it doesn't really matter. So you can do this. When I have really good fellows, you can imagine I can be trying to get into the prone lateral space while they're putting in pedicle screws. It really helps with the efficiency as well.
Muhammed, so is there a patient tracking frame like embedded there inferiorly?
So for this case, just because we didn't have, this is a cadaver and so on, we did put a reference array here. This can go into the PSIS, and you take, 2 X-rays to get that put in there. I use this for my prone lateral cases because, especially with prone lateral, the patient is moving a lot when you're hammering in trials and so on. And sometimes I use it for my bilateral screws, but for 90% of my cases, this is not in my workflow. So now we've put in a good place here for the Jamshidi. I'll just hammer it in a little bit more. I'll take a K-wire. And I have to say, I might take an extra here just to make sure, because it's not the K-wire that I usually use. Take the X-ray here. Okay, that looks reasonable. So for those people that work at places where they use a lot of navigation and so on, and you have nav lock systems, we have this thing that can attach to any nav lock system here. So this is a tap that's a nav lock system tap. We've calibrated this, okay, and we've calibrated to 40 millimeters. So you can actually gives you even more. It's not cannulated. Oh, okay, we're going to go straight to screw here. But you can, again, this is a way that you can put this on into any nav lock system to work. You can use it also on the single-step screw systems that are out there. I use it for these single-step screw systems. And then again, can you just put that on? Good, and we've calibrated this. And just to show you guys, you can calibrate, just even me as a surgeon, I'm not usually very good at these things. You can almost calibrate anything very easily. One X-ray here. It's not even an X-ray, just showing it to the camera, show it to the other camera, and you're ready to go. A little wobbly, it's okay. Looks like there's something in there, and it's not on perfectly. So basically, that's how you can put in a percutaneous screw very, very easily. I probably went too fast. Sorry about that.
It's very quick, which is actually a good thing. You're showing the efficiency of the technology. But is there going to be a screw representation on a screen on a floor, or is it just like a block or something?
You can, if you give me that screw, it's not something's wrong with it. Something's in the shaft. That's okay.
Well, can you put it in without the K-wire if it's if it's fairly accurate?
But you can see here.
Okay.
If you take an X-ray here, Chad. So now we can memorize your system. Take another one. Okay. So it can show you the screw as you're working.
Okay.
And you can use this with the tab actually to pick out the perfect screw length and so on. So that's basically how you can put in percutaneous screws very, very quickly. For 4 pedicle screws, it takes me an average about 6 minutes sometimes if I have a very fast fellow, because we're working simultaneously on both sides. There's no reason for intra-op navigation or any type of CT scan.
Great. Well, question? Oh, I don't think any questions. You were very quick. So we've all caught up here. So we'll transition to the next presentation in a bit. But thank you. That was a very great presentation.